All right, let's go. Things are really starting to get wild, not just in the United States, but in the crypto world as well.
There's two ways to think about Swift. There's a messaging, there's liquidity. I'll say 5 years, 14%.
So as always, we have a lot to talk about. All the elected officials in California were out making big speeches. You got Gavin Newsom. I'm just kidding. Let me play the real clip for you.
And I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested, but he ought to be tarred and feathered, I'll say that.
LA Mayor Karen Bass actually made her first honest statement ever.
Hi guys, I called on this press conference to let everyone know that I am in fact retarded.
I gotta say, Karen, I really just hate your face. It's always very upsetting, always fake smiling, even during a fire or a riot. You look like something an intoxicated mongoloid child made at a Build-A-Bear. Drunk-ass Nancy Pelosi managed to put down the bottle for a minute to tell us this.
Whether you see a burned car, a broken window, or whatever it is, it may be the exuberance of the moment.
And oh boy, is LA sure experiencing a lot of exuberance right now. The almost dead race hustler Maxine Waters can't even remember what she said from one day to the next.
Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. He started this. There should be no violence. He should not continue to support violence. They should not be edged on and, provoked.
And before we go on, let's play a little game. Can you find Maxine Waters' face in this photo?
I mean, no disrespect to Congresswoman Waters, but somebody needs to tell her that the voices in her head are not real.
I actually think baby John Kennedy sums up the Democratic Party better than anyone else.
The party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers. They think men can breastfeed. They're triggered by race. They cry if you use the wrong pronoun. And most fair-minded Americans look at this and they go, these people are about 10 exits past normal.
You will hear from the mainstream media that 99% of the city is not in chaos, but that's kind of like saying that 99% of the time, this guy wasn't eating people. Thomas Sowell said it best: the purpose of politics is not to solve problems, but to find problems. This is how they justified the expansion of government power and increase our taxes. So are there some peaceful protests happening? Of course there are. Do I like seeing people being separated from their families? Definitely not. I think legal immigration is a good thing. I'm married to a first-generation American whose family was responsible and did things the right way. For me, it's just hard to make the connection of how robbing a jewelry store owned by legal immigrants does anything to help illegal immigrants in any way. But at least this guy can breathe a sigh of relief after remembering his store only sells books and Father's Day gifts. So here's the hard truth that no one wants to talk about. When you see AOC claiming it's okay to loot an Apple store because people need apples to feed their families, or why Bernie Sanders has changed his view so drastically from what he said in 2015.
What right-wing people in this country would love is an open border policy. Bring in all kinds of people who work for $2 or $3 an hour. That would be great for them. I don't believe in that.
This is how Barack Obama felt when he was in office.
If you're a criminal, you'll be deported. If you plan to enter the U.S. illegally, your chances of getting caught and sent back just went up.
Even Joe Biden, when he was alive, said this.
Would you allow these cities to ignore the federal law regarding the reporting of illegal immigrants and, in fact, provide sanctuary to these immigrants?
No.
There is really only one reason that Democratic cities are supporting illegal immigration now, and it has nothing to do with helping illegal immigrants. It's simply because they need a new group of people to make up for the fact that they are losing the black vote. So if that offends you and you want to leave me a nasty comment, just make sure you get a good stretch in first, because I'm fully prepared to fire back with facts. All right, check this out. NOMY Finance is back, and as this current bull run heats up, this could be one of those under-the-radar gems that really pops. If you're not already following them on X, you can find them at NOMY Finance, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. The website is nomyfi.com. It's a global crypto wealth platform made for both retail users and institutions. NOMYFI allows you to buy, earn, and manage your assets all in one place, providing security and transparency. Right now, you can still get early access to the NOMY token at just 6 cents. This project is giving off Nexo vibes, and we all remember when that ran from just a few cents to over $3 last cycle. NOMY's setup looks even cleaner, and their token listing is just around the corner. I'm adding another 10K of NOMY right now and taking advantage of their staking rewards also. They offer a 3-month plan that makes it super simple, and the APYs go up to 172.5%. You can also check them out on Telegram. Their chat is very active with excitement, and you can also qualify for their $54 million airdrop that is live right now. All the details are below to check out NOMY. Let's talk some XRP.
The momentum is real. This shows how the XRP ledger has scaled for more than 13 years. 3.3 billion transactions processed, more than 6 million active wallets, secured by more than 800 nodes, more than 180 independent validators. This is a proven track record of reliability and decentralization.
You have a community of entrepreneurs. Like the energy that I feel being here, I mean, it's I think, profound. And so I think this will continue to be a region that thrives and leads, and I think you'll see more and more faster adoption, partly as you see the US as a regulatory leader, that a lot of other countries look to the US. I think people grossly underrated how much momentum is going to be created by the largest economy in the world finally shifting into a pro-innovation, pro-crypto posture.
And we also saw this. Guggenheim taps Ripple's XRP ledger to offer tokenized commercial paper in RWA push. This article goes on to say that Guggenheim Treasury Services launched its US Treasury-backed digital commercial paper, or DCP, on Ripple's XRP ledger. The DCP offers fast, low-cost, 24/7 trading. Ripple invests $10 million, supporting institutional-grade tokenized finance, noting that the real-world asset market grew 260% in 2025, reaching $23 billion. All right, let's take a look at some of the other top headlines. We start with the always enraged Tom Emmer.
Governor Walz, your sanctuary state agenda has been defined by your utter failure. You have failed to enforce the rule of law. You have failed to uphold our national sovereignty. And most importantly, you have failed the people of Minnesota. The time for radical sanctuary state policy, sir, is over.
SEC Chairman Paul Atkins.
Another core feature of blockchain technology is the ability of individuals to have self-custody of crypto assets in a personal digital wallet. The right to have self-custody of one's private property is a foundational American value that should not disappear when one logs onto the internet. I'm in favor of affording greater flexibility to market participants to self-custody crypto assets, especially where intermediation imposes unnecessary transaction costs or restricts the ability to engage in staking and other on-chain activities.
The DNC has voted 294-99 to redo the election of David Hogg as vice chair, claiming diversity quotas for his removal. The U.S. Army is organizing a $45 million military parade on June 14th in Washington, D.C. to celebrate its 250th anniversary, coinciding with President Trump's 79th birthday.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the military parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question.
If you're wondering why education is failing in this country, look no further than the address given by the president of the National Education Association.
We the people! We the people! We the people!
What is your reaction to Congresswoman Maxine Waters repeatedly saying that there has been no violence in the LA riots?
Clearly, the Democrats are making a mistake by taking the wrong side here, and I'm just going to, in my southern gentlemanly way, say bless her heart to Maxine Waters. I don't even know how to comment on Maxine Waters anymore.
The president and first lady attended the Kennedy Center's production of Les Miserables.
It's been reported that some actors may be boycotting.
I couldn't care less, honestly. All I do is run the country well.
I'm on my way to the Senate floor now.
to offer the Genius bill.
And the U.S. Senate did vote to advance the Genius Act, crypto stablecoin bill.
My administration is working with Congress to pass the Genius Act, supporting the creation of dollar-backed stablecoins. And we also will be working to create clear and simple market frameworks that will allow America to dominate the future of crypto and Bitcoin.
Brian Moynihan, CEO of Bank of America, revealed that B of A is developing its own stablecoin. Can anyone explain this logic to me?
Could you spell and pronounce your name for me?
Yeah, it's Christina with a CH, and then Maimone, M-A-I-M-O-N-E.
Keep your face covered. Is there a reason for that?
Yes, because there's been a lot of really fascist responses to protesting under this administration, and we don't really know who's going to show up or what's going to happen. So it's just a protective measure.
It's good to see that the LA riots aren't affecting everyone. Here is Gavin Newsom's wife shopping in Beverly Hills with her full security detail, a $2,500 purse, and $500 sneakers. According to Coinbase, 60% of Fortune 500 companies are working on blockchain projects.
We've already seen that prices are rising on many everyday goods.
Congresswoman,
please don't interrupt me. The time is mine. The time is mine. Please don't interrupt me. I will ask you questions and I will grant you an opportunity to answer them, but please don't interrupt me during my time.
With pleasure.
Okay, I know I'm a woman, but please try to limit yourself to answering my questions.
Not only is she woefully trying to play the gender card, but also dead wrong. As we see for the fourth month in a row, U.S. core inflation has come in below expectations.
There's no way to look at these numbers and say they're not welcome news. I mean, a downside surprise to core goods is where people were looking for potentially tariff effects, and maybe except for isolated areas that Steve mentioned, you're not quite getting that.
Does anyone else find it ironic that the same people who have a problem with the National Guard being called in to keep the peace had zero problem calling in the same National Guard to enforce COVID lockdowns? From Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick.
You're going to see deal after deal. This is going to start coming next week and the week after and the week after. We've got lots of them in the hopper. We just want to make sure they're the best deal we possibly can make. We don't want to rush, and Donald Trump is never going to accept a rush. He only accepts the best from us, and we're going to give it to him. The World Bank agrees with President Trump that countries use unfair trade practices and calls for them to lower tariffs on the U.S. Subsequently, U.S. and China agree in principle on framework for a new trade deal after 2 days of talks in London. And what the hell is this?
I am trigender, which means like a triangle, I have 3 genders. Male, female, and non-binary. And the difference between trigender... A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
So you know I'll be watching, and I'll keep you updated with any new information. I think we may be getting to a point where we need to redefine what toxic masculinity is. Personally, I don't want to live in a world where the sliding door company doesn't use sliding doors. I'm all for peaceful protests, but does anyone want to tell her? It really feels like we are not far away from seeing this, which will inevitably lead to this, and ultimately to this. And if you have a couple more minutes, you may also like this video right here. Brand new information that could lead XRP to $27. Until the next time, be safe.